Class 6 Social Studies. Happy day children, I hope you all are doing well. Children, if you had noticed, the title of our book, history book, is Our Pasts with an S there, pasts in plural, meaning many pasts. Here we should try to understand that pasts means the pasts of different groups of people who lived in the ancient times. We cannot say that only kings lived in the past, only queens lived in the past, only merchants lived in the past. It's actually all of them together. And this studying about the pasts, we study about the entire group. For example, the lives of herders or the farmers were different from those of kings and queens, which explains that people followed different practices and customs in their own lives in different parts of the country. The lifestyle of a king is not as same as the lifestyle of a merchant, or the lifestyle of a merchant is not as same as the lifestyle of a farmer. So it is totally different. Now, how do we understand that the lifestyle of a king is different, the lifestyle of a merchant is different? All that studies is done by the discoveries, explorations made by the archaeologists. Generally, the kings would have kept records of their victories, just as I told you as inscriptions, but the common people like merchants, farmers have no such records. In such cases, the remains that are left by those people who lived in the past, when studied by the archaeologists, plays a very important role for us to understand the lifestyle of the people who lived in the past. Next slide. What do dates mean? A date simply means the day of the month of that year as specified in the numerical part in the form of numbers. So if I ask you what is today's date, for example, let it be 15th day of, what is the current month? Say April. So 1504, and what is current year? 2020. So we'll say the date, we'll represent the date like this. And now the date part in that, the year part in the date, that is, what is the current year? 2020. So this year is generally calculated after the birth of Jesus Christ. Okay, all the dates before the birth of Jesus Christ are mentioned as BC, first one, which means before the birth of Jesus Christ. B for before, C for Christ. The next term is AD, which is a Latin word which has an expansion, Anno Domini. A for Anno, D for Domini, which means in the year of the Lord. The Lord here is Jesus Christ. And BC can also be denoted as BCE, meaning before Common Era. Era means period, time. AD can also be referred to as CE, Common Era or Christian Era. In India, we began using dates in this format about 200 years back. Next comes the interesting part. Children, we have come to the end of the lesson with the last part, elsewhere. This is a very important, interesting part, very similar to, very connected to the lesson. So we are going to study about decipherment, which plays a very important role in understanding about the things, explorations made by the archaeologists from the sources they have received from the past. Now we understood that archaeologists do all the explorations, discoveries, understand, they work like detectives, getting clues from the sources, and they convey some message about the past. Now all this process put together, we call it as decipherment. Okay, decipherment. We have seen that inscriptions are inscribed on hard surfaces like stone or metal. As we had discussed earlier, manuscripts and inscriptions contain scripts and language. Manuscripts and inscriptions contain scripts and languages. The scholars, archaeologists, historians, they all are the same. They act like detectives, tried to understand what was written on these inscriptions, manuscripts, and all book-like similar things. Now, this process of analyzing the documents that were written in the ancient languages and converting it to plain, proper, understandable language is called deciphering. I repeat, the process of analyzing the documents written in the ancient languages and converting it to plain, proper, understandable language is called as deciphering. Now here today we are going to see about the decipherment of the famous Rosetta Stone from Egypt. Can you all see the picture, children? Picture 1 shows a part of the Rosetta Stone with the inscriptions on it, and picture number 2 you can little clearly see the Rosetta Stone picture with the inscriptions. Now this famous decipherment story comes from Egypt, 5,000 years old, of North Africa. The Rosetta is a town that is located in the north coast of Egypt. An inscribed stone was found by scholars who analyzed this stone were inscribed with 3 different languages. I want you all to observe the middle picture. As you can see, the small picture inside the picture shows 3 different languages. The first one is different from the second one and also the third one. So it was observed by the scholars that the Rosetta Stone was inscribed with 3 different languages and scripts. That is 1 Greek and 2 forms of Egyptian language. It was observed that the names of kings and queens were enclosed in a little frame called cartouche. There's the picture there, Egyptian cartouche. Can you see some cylindrical enclosed structures? 2 cylindrical enclosed structures which has some pictures inside it, some script, not picture, sorry, script inside the cylinders. So this structure, cylinder structure, are called cartouche, and if a cartouche is inscribed, it means either a name of a king or a queen has been inscribed. Okay, so and I have also showed a deciphering picture there. So if you can see there, it's actually a cartouche. A cartouche has been deciphered. It's the name of Cleopatra, and the below one is the name of the king Alexander. So it has been enclosed in a cartouche. And how were the archaeologists or the scholars, they were able to decipher? How they did is, the scholars deciphered by placing the signs of both languages side by side, that is the Greek and Egyptian language pictures side by side, and with the help of the sounds they were able to decipher. If you can see, they had a bird picture for A and lion L. So this is how they had tried to decipher the names or the content of the inscriptions that is done on the stone. So that's all, children. The chapter is done. We have completed 1 chapter in history. So we'll have a short recap on the chapter. Chapter name is What, Where, How and When. So what did we do? We learned what had happened in the past. Where did people live? We studied about names of the land India and Bharata. Finding about the past, we studied about manuscripts and inscriptions, and what do dates mean. We had different abbreviations, AD, BC for mentioning the dates, and elsewhere we saw about the decipherment of the famous Rosetta Stone of Egypt. I hope you understood the lesson well. Have a nice day, children. Thank you.